Hi friends! For today's science experiment, we are going to be making a tornado in a jar. But before we start, I am going to tell you a little bit about tornadoes. So what a tornado is a big cylinder that comes down from the clouds and touches the ground. The cylinder is kind of like a tube. It's almost a little bit like a straw. It can suck things up into it and spin them around. So for a tornado to be made, you need to have hot air and cool air. The hot air has to be humid, and what that means is it has to have little bits of water vapor in it, little tiny water droplets need to be floating around in the air. In the cool air, the lid has to be dry, so there can't be a lot of water vapor in it. There can't be a lot of water droplets. So when the hot air and the cool air come together in the sky, it starts to form a cylinder out of the clouds. Now, the only way that this hot air and this cool air can turn into a tornado is if there's a lot of water vapor in the clouds too. There has to be a thunderstorm. It has to be storming for a tornado to be created. So you have this hot air and you have this cool air, and it comes together in the storm cloud, and it's really windy. So as the clouds start to spin, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it touches the ground, and that's a tornado. Now, we don't ever have to worry about a big tornado touching the ground because we don't see them where we live. We don't see them in Rhode Island, so we don't ever have to worry about it. But since you're never gonna see a tornado in real life, I'm gonna show you what one looks like inside of this jar. I'm gonna show you 3 ways that you can make a tornado. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna take the lid off of our jar. A bigger jar works better, but you could also use a smaller jar. I like the bigger jar because the tornado is bigger. In that jar, you are going to pour some water. You're not gonna fill the jar all the way to the top. Be very careful not to spill. So you're gonna wanna put about this much water in. This is 2/3 of water. You want enough space right here because once we put our dish soap in, it's gonna bubble up at the top and our tornado will be at the bottom. So once you fill it up with water, you are going to take dish soap. Now, you can use clear dish soap, but if you use a colored dish soap, like a green or a blue, it's gonna show up a lot better for your tornado. So you're gonna put a big squirt into your jar, just like this, squirt, and you can see it all floating around in there. Once you do that, you can either cover the jar, or you can take a spoon. If you want to do it with a spoon, you can mix it up like this. You're gonna do it super fast, just like this. And there you go. When you stir it with the spoon, it makes it a little bit cloudy, so I like to do it instead with a lid. So you wanna close that, and you wanna do it super tight because we're gonna be shaking this super hard and we don't want it to get everywhere. Take your jar, and there's 2 ways you can mix it. You can mix it like this. You can see it form, or you can make big circles. So you wanna hold on to it really tight, and you're gonna do fast circles. All right, you ready? You can't see it as much once you do it a couple times. So once you do it and you can't see a bunch of it, you can't see the whole tornado, I'll show you one more time. Very well. Once it's like that, you're gonna open it back up. And for this part, you do need to have the lid. And you're gonna take beads. You're gonna put the beads in. You're gonna float down to the bottom and close it up. Let's see what happens to the beads when I shake it. Do we think they're gonna stay at the bottom of the jar? Maybe. Do we think they're gonna move up? Maybe. Do you think they're gonna spin around in the jar? Maybe. Do we think they're gonna float up top like these ones are? We'll have to see. My prediction is that when we shake it, all these beads are gonna spin around. So that's what my guess is. We ready? Okay. You do it nice and hard. Now, if you look super, super closely, you can see that some of the beads got sucked up into it. I'm gonna do it one more time. Like this again. Remember, you wanna do it super, super fast. Look at them get sucked up. The blue, the green, the white, they're getting sucked up into it. Now, instead of shaking it like this, I'm gonna do around with my arms and see if it looks different than it did last time. We'll see if it works a little bit better. So I think doing it in a circle doesn't really work all that well. So just like this. Again, you can see some of them get sucked up right down here. The thing with a tornado is why it's really unsafe is because anything it touches on the ground go up into the tornado, which means if you want to stay super, super safe from a tornado, you want to stay inside of your house because you don't want to get sucked up into it, right? But remember what I said, we don't ever have to worry about tornadoes because of where we live, because you'll never, ever see a tornado in Rhode Island. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have so much fun. Make your tornado in a jar.